This is the second year in a row that I gotta miss the Olympia that I worked so hard for.
All right, guys, what is up? It is Thursday afternoon, October 3rd. This is not a video that we wanted to make, especially after the video that Nick had to make last year, but we made the decision this week for Nick to be not competing in this year's Olympia. It was a hard decision. Obviously, this has been a very hard few weeks for us. And just to be really what we want to do in this video, guys, is just be truly transparent with you and honest with you about where Nick's been at and you know, what the decisions that we made that made us come to this decision, or the thought processes. But honest truth is that Nick right now, in terms of his body, in terms of the bodybuilder that you guys know, his body is just not there. You know, and I've been wrestling with this for a couple weeks. Obviously, Nick and I have had very intentional conversations, but we feel that it's best for not only himself, his career, what's most important, but also for the Olympia, for the current physique that Nick has, to not be represented on the Olympia stage. You know, and we did, I want to say that we did everything in our power this year to get him on stage, but at the same time, I know full and well, Nick knows full and well the type of physique that can be represented, and it's just not there. So obviously, you know, this is Nick's video. I want him to speak, but I also feel that it's important as his coach. You know, I think that my most important job in all of this is to protect Nick, to protect his image, to protect his health. And those are all the decisions and thought processes that I had that came to making this decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like you said, you know, this is probably the hardest decision, you know. Obviously last year with the injury, that was one thing, but, you know, I felt I was in a very good spot going into this prep, how I felt. And I guess, you know, like what Matt said, I think I operate better in chaos. And coming here for the Olympia prep, I truly felt relaxed. You know, I felt okay, and I guess my body did too, and my body just said I need a break. I need to relax, and it just, that was it. You know, and I think a lot of the stress that I, you know, endured over the past year just kind of caught up, and this prep obviously did not go the way we wanted it to, and it sucks because this is the second year in a row that I gotta miss the Olympia that I worked so hard for. You know, and there's so many things that come into play, because it's like, all I want to do is win the Olympia for myself and be Matt's first Olympia winner, the Open Olympia winner. And it's another year I gotta fucking miss it. And it sucks, but, you know, I refuse to step on stage anything less than my best. And I'm still, in my mind, the third best bodybuilder in the world, because that's where I left. And with the way I was looking, it just wasn't gonna be that way. So we made a very hard decision and said, look, you know, this isn't your best package. This is certainly not gonna be what we wanna present on stage. And we need to let my body chill and rest, and regroup, you know, and just kind of figure out the next plan after that. But, you know, I hate making these videos because I truly just want to win the Olympia. And I know my time will come. You know, I guess, like, you know, Matt said, I've been just on the go, and I think it's finally just caught up. And right now I just need to listen to my body and do what's best. And I just believe now the best is yet to come. So we will figure it out.
Guys, what I'm most thankful for in this situation that's not ideal at all is, you know, well, two things I want to mention. Obviously, Nick and I internally, we made this decision as a team. And then the next step after making it as a team is that we needed to talk to the IFBB head officials, you know, the Manions. We needed to talk to the Olympia, and they've all been super understanding. So we really appreciate that, because obviously this is a hard decision. And we also know that Nick is such an important part of the Olympia that this doesn't just impact us. It just doesn't impact us in our internal circle of this town. It impacts a lot of people, so their support has been something that's really meant a lot to us. But also, this type of thing that happens, it can destroy a relationship between two people. And I just want to truly say, and you guys will see this in the months to come, Nick and I are great. We're going through this together. As I said, it's my responsibility ultimately to protect his body, his image, and his health. And I hold that in very high regard. And also, I want to also thank one other person, and that's Neil Hill. As I was kind of going through this and wrestling with this in my head, I reached out to him because he's somebody that's been such an instrumental part in my coaching and in my life. And I just said, hey, what would you do in my situation? And he spoke some words of wisdom into me, and that was also very helpful in making this decision. But Nick and I are good, and that to me is what's most important. We're not pointing the finger at each other. We truly did. What's such a head scratcher about this situation is we did what we always did. The environment was better. Nick's mental health has been better than it ever has. And it's just like, as we were going on, it's just like the response was nothing like we've seen, and that's what made us come to this decision. So we don't need to drag this video out forever. I know Nick is still going to be present at the Olympia. That's something that's very important to him. He still believes that he has a fan base that he doesn't want to disappoint any more than potentially this already will. But again, guys, and also too, I don't want to say, hey, we'll see you at the Arnold. Like, obviously, our plan going into this was Olympia and Arnold. But Nick and I had a very intentional conversation yesterday that we are going to see Nick's physique when Nick's physique starts to respond again. So that's going to be with a time of rest. That's going to be a time with him not being so meticulous, just enjoying life a little bit more in Nick's terms, which is still very, very structured, but less structured than what he's used to, because I truly think that there's just a stress component to this that he just needs to just chill. So we're gonna, and the thing too is he's still, in terms of bodybuilding, he's still so young, and again, this sucks really bad. It does. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But this isn't the end. It's just making a decision right now that's in Nick's best interest for where we're at right in this moment, for the long term of his career.